Man, what is up, bro? So, if y'all ain't seen, bro, Boston just got thrown out the playoffs. Whoop de doo, right? And you know what's so crazy? I literally seen the Jaylen Brown live because I was watching Low Lights slash Legend of Winning or whatever you know him by, whatever. I was watching him watch the game while I was watching because I couldn't watch. You know, you can't watch every game. Literally, it's too many games, and I like the WNBA too, but that's besides the point. I was watching it, right? And he ended up watching the stream, right? In real time. And I'm like, wow, this is crazy. So if you ain't seen that, we're going to watch that now. All right. So before we get into this, if you didn't watch this, this was literally happening during the Cavs versus Portland game. So while that's happening, this is what he decided to do.
We was up 3-1. When Joel Embiid came back, it was an issue. And that's funny because on my stream, they're doing this with all without Embiid. I think personally they may be a little better without Embiid. I'm not sure, but I know they're doing all this. They've been playing well, finding an identity. So for context, I said this maybe a week before we played the Sixers. We'll see if the big fella comes back, but I think they've been doing a good job. Chad, at the time, they were playing really well, and we didn't really get a full look at their team. So it definitely was an adjustment for us. But that's how motherfuckers be watching my stream. That's how Joel Embiid was sitting there at home, motherfucking eating chocolate chip cookies, watching my motherfucking stream, and he's like, you know what? When I come back, I'm gonna show these because I ain't never seen him that dominant.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Yeah, people watch your streams, I guess. Sure. You're a famous NBA player. It's the middle of the playoffs. Or even if it wasn't even leading up to the playoffs or even in the beginning of the season. You're a famous NBA player. So no, I don't know. Maybe people be telling him no one watches his streams. I don't know. That was kind of crazy. Just because people don't watch my streams. You feel me?
He was dominant from physical standpoint, passing the ball. Obviously, he's been more athletic in the past, but I give him credit. He came out and he made a difference in this series, no question. He's one of the best bigs in the world, if not the, when healthy, and he's
By the way, if you keep hearing that sound, it's not my that's not my PC doing that. That's literally his notification for getting a sub. That little like it sounds like you're getting a note. Yeah, that so it was very annoying. It sounded worse during the stream actually.
a little bit more. If we could bang with him a little bit more personnel wise, and not give him so many easy baskets, it would have been a little different for us. But he came and did what he was supposed to do. He dominated, and we lost. So credit to the 76ers, credit to Joel Embiid. I still think he flopped entirely way too much. Some of y'all don't even know what flopping is in the chat. Like some of y'all clearly don't know basketball. Y'all don't know what flopping is. Flopping is exaggerating contact that's already there. It's not about drawing contact or drawing fouls. Nobody has a problem with drawing fouls. That's a part of the game. Use your brains. That's the thing about this basketball era where y'all have turned y'all brains off and just look at analytics. I have no idea.
Okay, so he's saying that if you hit, see, this is what like I guess this is he's a basketball player, so some people's going to say he's just right regardless. And if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But from my understanding, exaggerating the contact isn't a flop. Like if I'm going for a shot and you hit me on the chin a little bit, like you try to swat the ball, you hit my chin a little bit. If I turn my head with it because you just hit me in the jaw instead of trying to go against it so I can hit the shot, that's not a flop. That's just me. If you push me and instead of me trying to push you back, I just let you push me, that's not a flop in my opinion. Like a flop is more of like a to me is like shooting the ball and you jump up and I jump into you and then fall to the side and act like, to try to draw the illusion that you jumped up and hit me out the way. That's a flop to me. Exaggerating a call or selling a call, and I heard Lowe say this too because I did watch his video earlier, so I'm not trying to make it seem like I'm just stealing his content and I'm just so smart. But I didn't hear him say this part in that video. But yeah, I definitely agree with Lowe or whatever. But I had that opinion beforehand. Like LeBron does all the time. Hey, oh, somebody push him. Oh, so that like you feel me? But he ain't gonna say LeBron flops.
idea what y'all talking about. Drawing fouls is fine. I don't complain about nobody drawing fouls. Flopping and exaggerating contact is different. It's like when somebody barely touched you and you selling a call to make it seem like you just got shot by two police officers. Big difference. Whether you like it, don't like it, your grandma like it, your grandma don't like it, I don't really care. You know what I mean? This is just my personal opinion on basketball. Some of y'all might disagree, but argue with your grandma. Flopping has ruined our game. Joel Embiid is a great player, one of the best bigs in basketball.
I do think that flopping has messed the game up, but I don't think what he's talking about is flopping. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like drawing the fouls is ruining what I consider flopping, what you consider drawing a foul, is ruining the game way more than people getting fouled and just making it known that they're getting fouled. Like if I'm running and I'm bigger than you and you hitting me, yeah, I don't need to fall, but you are fouling me. So if I fall and I get a foul, I'm just getting what I actually got. I'm getting a foul because I got a foul. But if I'm drawing a foul, that means if you're like you got your arm out, you feel me, and I do like a non-realistic jump shot just so you could hit my wrist, and that's ruining the game way more. Like when people are out here driving to the basket, they're beating the man to the basket, and instead of going up because they're scared they might miss it, they jumping backwards and then shooting it like that and getting a foul. That's ruining the game way more than you pushing me and then I fall, even though I'm strong enough to not fall, just because I want it to be known that I'm getting fouled. Like, I don't think that's ruining the game nearly as much as the quote unquote drawing a foul.
History flops. He know it. This ain't breaking news. That's just my opinion. I'm not the only one that had that opinion. Some of y'all gonna be mad about that opinion, and some of y'all could kiss my ass. But once again, shout out to the 76ers. Shout out to Nick Nurse. Shout out to Joel Embiid. Shout out to the Paul George, Maxey. They some great players that are moving forward. So there's no disdain and no hate towards any of those guys. We came out and competed. My team lost. Their team won. Simple as that.
Productive and be free on the court.
Sorry to interrupt, but this is important. The shooter who murdered my sweet little Daniel brought a highly lethal weapon with.
Okay. First of all, the backhanded compliment of saying, like, yeah, people be flopping and it's ruining the game. Like, you know, people that be flopping, it's just trash. But they was good though. Like that's the backhanded compliment is so crazy.
It clearly had an agenda. Like maybe because I spoken that was critical of the refs in the regular season. So how they responded. Like we gonna call every you're gonna lead the playoffs in offensive fouls. That's how that was the response from the officiating crew. You could clearly tell, and I've actually spoke to some refs and they said it was agenda going into each game. So anytime Jaylen brings his arm up, just from reputation, just call it. Paul George does the same thing. Jalen Brunson does the same thing. Shit, I can go down the list. It's a basketball play, whether y'all believe it or not. You know what I mean? Everybody does that when you drive, especially if you got bodies on you. But Philly took advantage of it, and they took advantage of the officiating, and it cost us to some degree. But I've been doing it all regular season, not a problem. And now all of a sudden, it's offensive foul every time. You better keep that same energy with everybody else. You know what I mean? And the refs didn't make it no easy. I'm not blaming them, but we had some of my least favorite refs. And I'll say their names. We had some of my least favorite
We're gonna get to that later.
refs in our last 3 games. And I have comments on what I think the agenda is or has been versus myself or versus our team. They find people for speaking the truth. If I had to say there's some referees that need to be investigated, like just overall out of all the officiating, we had 3 of them in the last 3 games. We have, at top of my list.
10 points for Paul George on the 30.
If you're gonna call a push off, call that.
Now that is a bold claim, Chad. Because keep in mind, he literally said I spoke to refs. He said I spoke to refs and I heard there's definitely a like that was a bit much, bro. You're gonna mess around and get traded and be in no man's land talking like that. Like you're a more bigger player. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, for me, I got limits. You can calm down, bro.
Same move. Same move. Same ref.
And I'll keep it real though. I ain't gonna be dirt. I ain't gonna pick sides because I really don't care. Even though no, I do. I'm a 76ers fan, but that was a push off, bro. That what Paul George just did right there was very clearly a push
Like,
off.
if you're going to call a push off, call that. Same move. Same move. Same refs. Oh, it's nothing? It's a play on, right? It's weird activity. It's the same move, but this is a 3-point play. He makes a 3 right here. If it would have been me, it would have been an offensive foul. And then people saying I'm stiff arming, I'm Mark Henry, stiff arm.
Now let me be real, bro. That's a push off. That is a very clear push off. That's not even one of those ones where it's like your shoulder kind of like you feel me. You kind of look like you shouldered them, but your arm extended a little bit. Like that was clearly like one arm out push. That was a push off. But I'll keep it real. I wasn't watching this game live, so I don't know if he was really doing that too, and they was calling it every single time. I don't know how many times they called it for even Paul George. That might have been the one time he got away with it. I don't know. But that is a push off.
People out here, whatever y'all be saying. Like, every good basketball player does this. What are y'all talking about? They clearly had an agenda. They clearly had fucking on a red board. If Jaylen does this move, call an offensive foul on him every time. I don't know. It's because I pissed the refs off. I've been critical about them, and I called them out a bunch of times. They were like, you know what? I got you in the playoffs. Watch this. And when you're in the middle of the series, I don't got time to say that because that's a distraction. I'm trying to focus. But now that's over, some bullshit. I've been doing that all regular season. Everybody's been doing it all regular season. You gonna call that shit on me?
That's also kind of suspicious. So you saying like during the series you couldn't say nothing because it was a distraction, but now that it's over and you can't change it, now is the time that you got to say something. If you would have said something during the series, it would have took you 2 seconds to say, "I feel like this is this. Hey, look at the fouls. Look at the foul." It could have been so easy to say that. You just didn't because I don't know if you was thinking that at the time. Now maybe you're in the middle of the game, you're trying to win a championship. Maybe you genuinely didn't have the capacity to be breaking down like, oh, this was a foul, but that wasn't a foul, and looking at film and stuff like that. Maybe you was just locked in. But I feel like it would be more realistic that you would say it during the series because if there was an agenda, it would put some pressure on the refs if you get the fans involved and like watching, you know, to see if there really is a discrepancy. But you didn't do that, so yeah.
Every time. And y'all don't see it like it's an agenda. It's clearly an agenda. Look at the same move. Same move.
10 points for Paul George
Boom.
on his 36th birthday.
Step back. Catch. It's the same shit. We got the same trainer. Somebody call Dash right now. I'll call Dash. Right, we got the same trainer. Teach us the same shit. It's a foul on me, but it's a good play on him. Why you think that is? I'll let y'all. I'll let y'all fill in the blank. We don't even got to talk about that. We got the same trainer. We work on the same shit. But they called. I got 10 offensive foul. I think more in that series. Why do you think that is? You think somebody made a phone call or somebody said that?
10 offensive fouls is pretty high. 10 offensive fouls is pretty high for a series, especially for someone like Jaylen Brown. You're like a main guy. We're expecting you to be out there. If anything, like some defensive ones, because you're a defensive player. But like the offensive ones, I mean, you are like heavily used on offense. But like, I don't know though. Maybe if I look at some old series, maybe it's the same way. But it probably is the same refs too at some point throughout the series, because they got refs that are vetted to do that. We did that we talked about it on the other video, bro.
We're gonna call this every time on him, but we're not gonna call it on nobody else. It's all good. The pass, D White. Could have been a foul. No call. Foul. Look at his arm. Is not even. His hands is not straight up. They don't call this shit, bro. These motherfuckers be on. If that was Embiid, that's a foul. If that's Embiid, he's getting 2 free throws. And what do you mean? That's an and one. Look at him. Look at him. Number 39. Mr. Four, you looking right at it. Nothing, no call. I wonder why that is. It's not straight up.
Oh, he's just showing the
They don't call
same.
this shit, bro.
He's just showing the same clip. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, you could say that was a foul if it was Embiid. Based on what I know about what I know, and they probably would have not let that slide as much from the compilation of fouls I've seen them get. But Lowe, if y'all want to see somebody really break down the plays, Lowe did that to an extent. He really like watched it and he broke it down from his advanced basketball brain or whatever. But okay, so that's what he said, right? But y'all remember you saying all this stuff about the refs and how they should be investigated, right? So I'm like, what refs is he talking about? He's like, oh yeah, these are the top ones, right? If you look at the top here, you'll see it says Scott Foster. And if y'all don't know anything about Scott Foster, we literally did a video about if the NBA is rigged, and Scott Foster was a big part of that video. This was before this happened. Also, Jaylen Brown was found 35,000 for this, if y'all didn't know. From the clips alone and what he was talking about, it didn't seem too convincing. But when I realized, gotta reference my own video here. You know, shout out to me. This is Scott Foster's ties to Tim Donaghy. Now, if you don't remember who Tim Donaghy is, he's the one who got caught for doing all that rigging back in the day, and he was really cool with Scott Foster. They had a lot of conversations, especially around the time that Donaghy was rigging games. Pause. They said he's known as the extender. That in mind. All right. Uh, Foster officiated games that Donaghy bet on. All right. So if we know Donaghy for sure rigged games and bet on games, and we know they're sharing a lot of calls between each other. Often I can't highlight it because it's on a video, but often within minutes of bets being placed. So they're literally talking around the time bets are being placed, and Foster has officiated games that Donaghy bet on. And then think about the stuff that done came out recently about how this works, where the people know who's gonna not play or who's gonna, you feel me? And then that's how they rig the game for their bets. Now, what's the likelihood that Donaghy was betting on Foster games and they talk all the time, but he didn't have no fix, like Foster wasn't fixing anything? That seems very implausible. Um, Also, never charged, but never cleared. So keep that in mind. Never charged, but never cleared, which means they didn't prove him innocent. They just didn't, you feel me? They didn't prove him guilty. Now, I don't know what that means for y'all. If that's enough for y'all to feel like uh Jaylen Brown is not capping. I don't know if that makes you not care. I don't know if it does make you care. But to me personally, I feel like there's a conversation to be had at the very least on the potential of that being true because Scott Foster himself is been suspected to do weird stuff way before this. And y'all did lose a series that y'all should have won. Y'all was up 3-1 and y'all had the better team low key. I mean, 76ers is better than y'all, but y'all got the better team. You feel me? Y'all got more talent. Y'all got more of that, whatever. Your game plan was kind of trash, don't get me wrong, but I do think that there was a little bit of a possibility that something could have, as I said, he's Paul's known as the extender, right? So 3-1 lead, but the extender's here, so it still goes 7 games somehow. But I don't know. You feel me? But that's for y'all to decide. I had an extra clip I wanted to watch about how 2006 was rigged, but I'm not going to do that. Man, Drop a subscribe. I be forgetting to say all this YouTuber stuff. You know, subscribe, drop a comment. Let me know what y'all think, man. If y'all want me to do something else, I could do nine. You feel me? Basketball stuff. We can go more into the basketball stuff. It's whatever y'all feeling. You feel me? Just let me know. Also, you feel me? Also, go watch my other video. I don't even know where it pops up at. I'm acting like I know something. I made another video called "Is the NBA Rigged?" I believe that's what it's called. Watch that. I'll probably link it at the end here. That has more stuff about Scott Foster and then just stuff about what NBA players say about refs and stuff like that. So if you're interested in stuff like that, it'll pop up where you can click it, bro. Did I already do my outro? If I didn't, then I'm gonna just say it just in case I didn't. Peace and love to the Most High, man. Peace and love to all of y'all. Hope all is well with y'all as it is with me. Bye bye.